Hello everyone, this is the weekly progress video for our project of the course Object Oriented Programming and Design Methodologies. In this project, we are making a game. So this is the menu of our game in which the player can start a new game, load a saved game, change the settings of the game, or exit the game. So our gameplay will look something like this, in which the player has to cross the dungeon, fight the enemies, avoid the obstacles, and save the king at the end, who is at the end of the dungeon, and escort him safely out of the dungeon. So let's look at the UML of our project. So I'm handling the screens of the game. So in so the screens, so there is one abstract class screen here, and its child classes are the main menu, pause menu, pop-up screen, splash screens, and basically different screens are inheriting from it. Furthermore, there is a button class and word class and a character class. Character class renders a single alphabet and makes it into combines into a word and renders it on a button. So let's look at the code here. So here in our main, I have initialized the SGL library, and here there's the init main function, and there's the init function, and there's a load media function. So another class, L texture class, what this class does is basically loads different textures, different images, and on our screen. And Right now I have managed to create a screen class and render the background, and there's a render the main menu background, and I have also rendered the default state of the buttons. However, I have managed to load the active and the clicked state of the buttons as well, but the mouse motion is not yet been made. So let's run the code. So here we have our background image and our buttons rendered on the screen. Currently, I'm working on the word class and the character class. These classes will basically rendered alphabets on the screen, and they will be displayed over the buttons as to what these functions do. Like for example, this will be for the new game and this will be for the load game. So these classes will basically render those alphabets on the screen.
So hello, this is our project UML, which might change as we move forward with our project. I'll be working on the classes in gray, the ones right here. These basically involve the placement and interaction of all the moving objects, which include the player, all the enemies, and Zafar, the character that a player is supposed to save. I'm currently working on getting a player who looks like this to move on screen, which isn't quite working, but I'll hopefully get it to work in a day or two.
And that all three of us have different aspects of the game assigned to us by ourselves. What I have is dungeon objects. What my code is supposed to be doing is basically determining how the player is going to interact with the objects and vice versa. By objects, I mean there could be a haystack, or there could be a power up, or a fire, a trap, anything. And my code is supposed to determine how the player is going to interact with that. So what I have first is an abstract dungeon objects base class, and the what makes it abstract right now here is these two functions, that is character interacting, and based on this, the interaction that will be based on what individual objects there are. Now there's this overloaded constructor that basically is inherited by every other child objects constructor, and so far what I have done is where I am basically loading my game right now, I have initialized these dungeon objects, these pointers, and initialized them to different objects like torch and haystack, provided those specific images, and what I have on screen is basically these three objects. So this is what my code does right now. What I hope for it to do before next week is to have an algorithm that will map all of these onto the game screen, onto the map that we have, and then eventually load them in a linked list, which basically we will decide what index we want to push our new data on. And this linked list is basically a template class, so it can be initialized to whatever object that we want, because we have various objects that we're dealing with. So eventually that is what we hope for our code to do before next week. I have all of the objects on screen with the players and their positioning, placing all the algorithm that goes with it accordingly. And that's it. Thank you for watching.